my prize and mark my name. Now your damnation's just begun. Johnny fell in some neon bar, shallow whiskey, smoke and scar. His heart gave out mid-fiddle swing. The crowd went quiet, not a thing. He hit the floor, gold bow in hand, and drifted off to no man's land. Then thunder cracked and flames did rise. He woke beneath those blood-red skies. The devil grinned, we meet again. You ready, boy, to pay your sin? Johnny laughed, his eyes still wild. I ain't no saint, but I ain't your child. They battled hard till fire bled blue. Fiddles screaming like they knew that one of them would burn and one break free. Hell itself, their melody. The devil roared to my goddamn. Johnny screamed, I'll make my stand. They battled hard till fire bled blue, screaming like they knew that one of them would burn and one break free. Hell itself, their melody. The devil roared, you mind goddamn. Johnny screamed, I'll make my stand.
To the ancestors, known and unknown, Ashe. To the gods, known and unknown, Ashe. All the praise, all the glory be to the Most High. What's going on, guys? It's your favorite Cosmic Warrior, back at you with another Galactic Transmission. Today, we're going to get back into the Gospel of Nicodemus. And we left off at part 3. So that's where we're going to pick up. Part 3, the post-resurrection appearances of Yeshua. Chapter 8. At around midday, a deep darkness fell over the entire earth, lasting until about 3 in the afternoon. During this time, the sun was eclipsed, and suddenly the temple veil tore from top to bottom. The rocks split apart, and graves opened, revealing the bodies of many saints who had passed away. These holy ones were resurrected from their tombs. At about 3 in the afternoon, Yeshua cried out loudly, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? Then Yeshua said, Father, I commit my spirit into your hands. With those words, he breathed his last breath. Upon witnessing Yeshua's cry and his fatal breath, the centurion standing nearby praised God and said, Truly, this man was righteous. The people who had been watching were deeply moved by what they had seen. In sorrow, they struck their chests and then returned to Jerusalem. The centurion went to the governor and reported everything that had occurred. Hearing this, the governor was filled with grief. He gathered the Jewish leaders and asked them, Have you seen the miracle of the eclipse and the other signs that occurred during his death? The Jewish leaders replied, The eclipse was just a natural event that occurs regularly. Meanwhile, Those who had followed Yeshua, including the women who had come with him from Galilee, stood at a distance, observing all that was happening. Then a man named Joseph from Arimathea, who was secretly a disciple of Yeshua because of his fear of the Jews, went to Pilate and requested permission to take Yeshua's body from the cross. Pilate granted his request. Nicodemus, another disciple of Yeshua, came to assist with the burial. He brought a mixture of myrrh and aloes, weighing about 100 pounds. Together they took Yeshua's body down from the cross with great sorrow, wrapped it in linen cloths, and added the spices according to Jewish burial customs. They placed him in a new tomb that Joseph had carved out of rock, one that had never been used before. Then they rolled a large stone. Why did I throw huge in there? Then they rolled a large stone to seal the tomb's entrance. On the day after the preparation day, the chief priests and Pharisees went to Pilate. They said, "Sir, we remembered that while he was still alive, that deceiver said, 'After 3 days I will rise again.' So, order the tomb to be secured until the 3rd day. Otherwise, his disciples might steal the body and claim he has risen from the dead. This false claim would be worse than the first." Pilate replied, "Take a guard of soldiers and secure the tomb as best you can." So they went, sealed the tomb, and set guards to watch over it. Early in the morning, just after the Sabbath had ended and the first day of the week began, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to see the tomb. All at once the ground shook violently. A powerful earthquake struck as an angel of the Lord came down from heaven. He rolled away the stone blocking the entrance and sat on it. His appearance flashed like lightning, and his garments gleamed as white as snow. The guards were overwhelmed with fear, shaking uncontrollably until they collapsed, frozen like dead men. The angel said to the women, "Don't be afraid. I know you're looking for Yeshua, the one who was crucified. He isn't here. He has risen, just as he said he would. Come and see the place where he was lying. Then go quickly and tell his followers, he's been raised from the dead and is going ahead of you to Galilee. You'll see him there. This is the message I was sent to give you." Filled with both fear and joy, the women rushed away from the tomb to share the news with the disciples. On the way, Yeshua suddenly appeared to them and greeted them. They came close, fell at his feet, and worshipped him. Then Yeshua said, "Don't be afraid. Go tell my brothers to meet me in Galilee. That's where they will see me." Chapter 9. When the corrupt leaders among the Jews learned that Joseph had requested Yeshua's body from Pilate and placed it in a tomb, they turned their anger towards Nicodemus and the 15 others who had defended Yeshua before the governor, affirming that he was not born out of wedlock. They also began to persecute anyone who had treated Yeshua kindly or offered him assistance in any form. However, fearing the Jews, most of them hid, and only Nicodemus dared to confront them. He asked, "How can people like these enter the synagogue?" The Jews responded, "How dare you enter the synagogue when you are an ally of Christ? May your fate be the same as his in the afterlife." Nicodemus replied, "Amen. Let it be so. May I share the same fate as him in his kingdom." Likewise, when Joseph confronted the Jews, he said, "Why are you angry with me for asking for the body of Yeshua from Pilate? I have placed him in my tomb, wrapped him in clean linen, and rolled a stone in front of the entrance. I have treated him honorably, but you have acted unjustly, condemning him by crucifying him, giving him vinegar to drink, crowning him with thorns, and whipping his body. You have brought the guilt of his blood upon yourselves." The Jews, hearing this, were greatly troubled and upset. They seized Joseph and threw him into custody, intending to keep him locked up until the Sabbath was over. They said to him, "Confess your actions, for we cannot harm you until the first day of the week. But know this, you will not be worthy of a burial. We will give your body to the birds and the beasts." Joseph responded, "Your words resemble those of the proud Goliath, who insulted the living God when he mocked David. But you, scribes and scholars, know that God through the prophet, vengeance is mine, and I will repay you for the evil you have done. The God whom you crucified on the cross is able to deliver me from your hands. All the evil you have done will return upon you. But remember when the governor washed his hands, declaring himself innocent of the blood of this just man? But you responded, saying, his blood be upon us and our children. As you have spoken, may you face the consequences of your words. Upon hearing this, the Jewish elders were filled with rage. They seized Joseph and locked him in a room with no windows, sealing the door and securing it with a lock. Annas and Caiaphas placed guards outside, and they consulted with the priests and Levites, planning how they would put Joseph to death. Afterward, they ordered Joseph to be brought before them, but the gospel omits or loses a portion of what happened next, leaving the conclusion uncertain. Chapter 10. When the assembly of the Jews heard the news, they were astonished, unable to understand how Joseph had managed to escape. They found the seal on the lock of the chamber still intact, but Joseph was nowhere to be found. While they were discussing the situation, one of the soldiers who had been guarding Yeshua's tomb stood up and spoke to the assembly. He told them, while we were guarding the tomb, an earthquake occurred. We saw an angel descending from heaven, roll away the stone from the entrance, and sit upon it. His face was like lightning, and his clothes were as white as snow. We were so afraid that we became like dead men. The soldier continued, the angel spoke to the women who had come to the tomb, telling them not to fear. He said, I know you are looking for Yeshua, who was crucified. He is not here. He has risen, just as he said he would. Come and see the place where he lay. They go quickly and tell his disciples that he has risen from the dead, and that he will go ahead of you into Galilee. There you will see him just as he told you. The Jews were enraged upon hearing this, and immediately called the soldiers together, asking, who are the women? Who spoke with the angel? Why didn't you seize them? The soldiers replied, we don't know who the women were. We were so terrified when we saw the angel that we couldn't act. How could we have stopped them? The Jews, not believing the soldiers, responded, as the Lord lives, we don't believe you. The soldiers replied with a touch of irony, said, when you saw and heard Yeshua perform miracles, you didn't believe him. Why should you believe us now? You spoke rightly when you said, as the Lord lives, he truly does live. The soldiers continued, we have also heard about how you locked up Joseph, who buried Yeshua's body in a chamber with a sealed lock. But when you opened it, he was gone. They challenged the Jews, saying, if Joseph is in Arimathea and Yeshua is in Galilee, we were informed by the angel and the woman about his resurrection. Hearing this, the Jews became fearful and whispered to one another, if these things become known, everyone will believe in Yeshua. In response, they gathered a large sum of money and gave it to the soldiers. Tell the people that Yeshua's disciples came in the night while you were asleep and stole his body. They instructed, if Pilate hears of this, we will take care of him and keep you safe. The soldiers took the money and spread the false report, as they had been instructed. This story quickly circulated among the people. As the soldiers spoke, they mentioned another significant event. We've also heard how Joseph, who buried Yeshua's body, was locked in a chamber with a sealed lock. But when the chamber was opened, he was gone. They raised another challenge to the Jews. If Joseph is in Arimathea and Yeshua in Galilee, we heard the angel explain everything to the women. This revelation caused great anxiety among the Jewish leaders. They feared that if word of it spread, everyone would start believing in Yeshua. To prevent this, they gathered a substantial amount of money to bribe the soldiers. They instructed them to spread the false story that Yeshua's disciples had come during the night, stolen his body while the soldiers slept, and then concealed the truth. The Jewish leaders assured the soldiers that if Pilate were to hear of this, they would smooth things out over with him and ensure their protection. The soldiers accepted the bribe, began spreading the fabricated tale, which soon gained wide circulation among the people. Yet, not everyone accepted the falsehood being spread. A priest named Phineas, together with Ada, a respected teacher, and these fucking names, a Levite from Galilee, traveled to Jerusalem. They entered the synagogue and spoke directly to the chief priests and gathered leaders, saying, "We have personally seen Yeshua, the one you crucified, alive and speaking with his 11 disciples. He was with them on the Mount of Olives, teaching them to go through the world, proclaim the good news to every nation, and to baptize in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. He said, whoever believes and is baptized will be saved. After this, we witnessed him ascending into heaven." The chief priests, elders, and Levites listened closely and asked them, "By the God of Israel, tell us the truth. Are these things really what you saw and heard?" The three replied, "As surely as the Lord lives, the God of our forefathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we testify to what we saw with our own eyes and heard with our own ears." They continued, "If we were to deny that what Yeshua said in the vision of his ascent, we would be lying before God." At this, the chief priests rose angrily, holding up the book of the law. They warned the three men, "You are forbidden from speaking any further about this Yeshua." The priests then gave the men a large sum of money and sent others with them to escort them back to their country, ensuring they wouldn't remain in Jerusalem and continue spreading the story. The Jews gathered together, expressed great distress over the situation, questioning what this extraordinary event in Jerusalem meant. But Annas and Caiaphas reassured them, saying, "Why should we trust the soldiers who guarded the tomb, who claimed that an angel rolled away the stone? Maybe Yeshua's disciples paid them to say this, and they took the body of Yeshua." They continued, "Consider this, we cannot trust foreigners. They were given a large sum of money and have followed the instructions who gave them. They must either be loyal to us or to Yeshua's disciples." Chapter 11. When the entire council heard the latest reports, confession and disbelief filled the room. When the entire council heard the latest reports, confusion and disbelief filled the room. The seal in Joseph's chamber was still intact, yet Joseph himself had vanished. Disturbed by this, Annas and Caiaphas went out to investigate. As they deliberated, one of the soldiers who had guarded Yeshua's tomb stepped forward. He described how during their watch a great earthquake had shaken the ground, and an angel descended from heaven, rolled away the stone, and sat upon it. The soldier recounted the angel's astonishing appearance. His face shone like lightning, and his clothing was dazzling white. The guards, overwhelmed with terror, collapsed in fear as if dead. The angel had spoken to the women who arrived at the tomb, assuring them not to be afraid. He told them that Yeshua, who had been crucified, was no longer there. He had risen, just as he had said. The angel invited them to see where Yeshua had been laid, and instructed them to go and quickly tell the disciples he had gone ahead to Galilee. When the Jewish leaders heard this account, they gathered the other guards and asked, "Who were these women the angel spoke to? Why didn't you stop them?" The soldiers answered, "We were frozen in fear. How could we stop anyone we were unable to move?" Still skeptical, the leaders replied, "We swear by the Lord, we do not believe you." But the soldiers stood firm. "You didn't believe even when Yeshua performed miracles before your eyes. Why would you believe now?" But we tell you, as surely as the Lord lives, it is true." They then pointed out, "You locked Joseph in a chamber, yet when you returned, he was gone. You demand that we produce Yeshua. Why not first you bring back Joseph yourself?" The Jewish leaders answered, "Joseph is in Arimathea." The soldiers responded, "And Jesus is in Galilee. We heard it from the angel himself." The resurrection news sent ripples of fear through the council. They knew that if word got out, many would begin to believe. So they took a large sum of silver and bribed the guards, instructing them to spread a false story. "Say his disciples came at night while you slept and stole the body." The leaders promised that if Governor Pilate heard about it, they would intervene and protect the soldiers from any consequences. The soldiers took the money and did as they were told. The story spread quickly among the people. Meanwhile, a priest named Phinehas, a teacher named Ada, and a Levite named Aggeus journeyed from Galilee to Jerusalem. They came before the chief priests and synagogue leaders and testified, "We have seen Yeshua, the one you crucified. He was alive and speaking with his 11 disciples on the Mount of Olives. He instructed them to go into the world, proclaim the gospel to all nations, and baptize in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. He said, 'Those who believe and are baptized will be saved.' After this, we witnessed his ascension into heaven." The priests and Levites questioned them further, asking them to affirm their testimony before God. The 3 men replied, "As surely as the God of our ancestors lives, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, everything we have said is true. We heard his words and saw him ascend with our own eyes." They added, "To deny this would be to sin against the truth." Infuriated, the chief priests stood and raised the book of the law, demanding that the men never speak of these things again. Then, offering them a generous sum of money, they ordered them to leave Jerusalem immediately and not spread their account any further. The Jews then gathered together, deeply troubled by the events. They asked, "What is this extraordinary thing that has happened in Jerusalem?" Annas and Caiaphas tried to calm them, saying, "Why should we trust the soldiers who guarded Yeshua's tomb, who claimed that an angel rolled away the stone? Perhaps the disciples gave them money to spread this story and stole the body of Yeshua themselves." They added, "Consider this, foreigners should not be trusted, especially since they were given a large sum of money to speak, as we instructed them. They must be loyal to us or to Yeshua's disciples." The assembly grew more restless as the chief priests and elders attempted to suppress the rumors of Yeshua's resurrection. They discussed the matter among themselves, anxious that if the news spread further, people would begin to believe in Yeshua as the Messiah. The priests and elders sought to find a solution, and their discussions became increasingly urgent. They knew that if the story about Yeshua's resurrection gained more traction, it could undermine their authority and the power they had over the people. In an attempt to quell the growing unrest, the elders took a different approach. They gathered together once more, hoping to devise a plan to control the situation. But despite their efforts to silence those spreading the testimony of Yeshua's resurrection, they knew that the words of the witnesses could not easily be erased. As the days passed, the tension between the Jewish leaders and the followers of Yeshua continued to mount, and it became clear that the story of Yeshua was not one that could be so easily buried. The elders knew that for now, they had to keep the situation under control, but they also knew that the truth of what had occurred, the resurrection of Yeshua, could not be ignored. They would have to find new ways to discredit those who testified about it and prevent the message of Yeshua from spreading further. The challenge now was not only to silence the voices of the witnesses, but also to prevent the powerful and transformative message of the resurrection from gaining too much of a foothold in the hearts and minds of the people. With their plan to bribe the soldiers and spread a false story in place, the Jewish leaders believed they had momentarily secured their position, but they could not shake the unease that lingered. As much as they tried to contain the message, they knew deep down that the truth had already begun to take root, and its effects would eventually be felt. Meanwhile, the followers of Yeshua continued to spread his teachings, inspired by the power of his resurrection. Though the chief priests and elders tried to suppress the truth, the message of hope, redemption, and eternal life that Yeshua brought would continue to spread, reaching more hearts and transforming lives. And though the Jewish leaders did their best to keep the truth hidden, it would ultimately shine through, as it had always been destined to do. Nothing's changed. That's the end of part 3. Nothing's changed. They still do it to this day. Paying people to provide false information. Oh, what would that be? I don't know. I'm being reminded of, all these, people that are supposed to represent the United States people. Church leaders, people in government positions, and who are they being flown out by? Where are they being flown to? And for what purpose? Oh, to pledge their allegiance. Pledge their allegiance to whom? To what God? Not the living God of Yeshua. Not the living God of Yeshua. No, not to him. A false god, a demigod, the Jewish demigod. That's who was, they serve. The bribes. Has it changed? We need to protect it. We need to protect it. We have to protect our lives. Our lives must be protected at all costs. It's the will of God, the will of our dead God. We must stand up and rise up against the one living true God, because if everyone else sees that one God as the one true living God, then we lose all of our power. We lose all of our money. We lose everything that we fought so hard to save. Motherfuckers. Nothing's changed. Self-proclaimed. Throwing money at the problem. Suppressing the truth. Suppressing knowledge. Paying money to promote you. Paying money to have people lie and say that you're good people. Man, what does that say about you when you have to have people pay to say that you're a good person? What does that say about you? People have to lie about my morals. People have to lie about my character. People have to lie about that to make me look worse. Because guess what? The truth is, I'm a moral-ass motherfucker. I don't care. Ooh, I speak like this. Ooh, yeah, fuck you. I serve a living God. I serve the Most High. I speak the truth with every breath I speak. I am the voice of authenticity. My voice cannot and will not be silenced. Can't be bought. What did they teach though? What did they teach in the Talmud? You know what they teach? They teach that Yeshua, what do they teach? They say that he's in like a boiling pot of shit. They say that he's like stewing in a boiling pot of shit or something like that. Those are their beliefs. It's those people, they're so quick to, to pull the, oh, we should just love everyone card. We should just love everyone card. You believe people's actions, not their words. Demanding peace, but not putting any effort towards actual peace, because it's never their intention. They don't want peace. They want what they want, and they won't settle for less. The United States, the greatest friend of Israel, the greatest friend, the greatest ally. The greatest co-defendant, guilty as charged, assisting, by doing nothing, by not intervening. What are we doing? We're not just not intervening, we're supplying them with military weapons. What's interesting too is, let's not lose fact about what's really happened in Venezuela. Let's not lose fact about who Maduro's actually been speaking up against. Let's not lose fact about how he supports Palestine. Let's not lose sight of the fact how he speaks up against Zionism. Let's not lose that fact. Let's not forget that. Let's not dismiss that. Let's not think that has nothing to play with what's going on right now. Don't think that, who do they have that's going to replace? That fucking bitch was going on live broadcasts stating that she will support the Zionist agenda if they get him out of the way. And then we come running right in. Coincidence? I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe in those. The war on drugs, do I believe that, drugs are coming in from every border? But they've been allowed to. And you really want to fight the war on drugs, you get rid of the banking systems that are legally laundering their money. You should follow the money. Crazy concept. Get rid of the money. Take it from them. Crazy concept, huh? We can control what happens at our borders, no problem. But we overstretch and we want to go over there. On one hand, it's nice. It's nice to see a president that has some balls, unlike fucking Auto Pen Joe. It's nice to see a president with some balls. But then again, who are we supporting though? Who really benefits off of this? Who really benefits? Follow the money. Follow the power. Suppression of truth. They throw money at the problem, right? And when they can't throw money at the problem, what do? They go to war. What lies beneath? What lies beneath? Time will tell, right? Time will tell. How you guys doing? What's up, YouTube? What's up, TikTok? Let's get some music on.
Old boys and some rebel gals, we'll keep on living our own way. In these dive bars, we'll always stay. In these dive bars, we ride until dawn, smoking that purple haze, we can't go on. Doing the dirt road dirty, we don't play by the rules. Outlaw country, dirty south, that's how we do. So come on, y'all, let's raise our glasses high. In these dive bars, we'll never say die. Doing the dirt road dirty, that's our way of life. Outlaw country, dirty south,
What do I want to
until
do?
the end of time. Says I'm fine, but her jaw says things left unsaid. Her own father, I say it plain, put a brand on her that still causes pain. Every flint she hides its bone, wakes her haunting me like Rolling Stone. I see red when I hear that tale, my heartbeat lows like a driving nail. There's a road in me with his nameless face, and a wolf I keep chained in place. Storm in a cage, caused by his sin, won't say his name, afraid I'll find him. I wanna drag his shadow out into the rain, make the man remember every ounce of pain. But there's little shoes lined up by the light, they need a father more than I need a fight. I hate this man, he deserves a knife, but I can't let this devil control my life. She said the word father like glass in her throat. That's a hymn gone wrong, you'll never outgrow. I've been through bars, a nameless door, a face I never met, I'm ready for. My fists write stories I shouldn't read, sirens spelling out my family's need. Then I see my boy, blanket to his chin, the wolf sits down and I breathe him in. If I go hunting, who guards their dreams, who keeps our roof from splitting seams? Storm in a cage, caused by sin, won't say his name, afraid I'll find him. I wanna drag his shadow out into the rain, make the man remember every ounce of pain. But there's little shoes lined up by the light, they need a father more than I need a fight. I hate this man, he deserves a knife, but I can't let this devil control my life. If you're breathing, if you're alive, you're lucky that I let you survive. If I didn't have them, I would find you now, fuck you up and cut you down. And if you ever come near my mom again, I'll end your sorry life right there. Karma will get you, that's what's right, that's a prayer I pray for every night. Mama, I can't rewind your years, but I can dam the flood of fears. Kids learn father by these hands, built for shelter, not demands. I nail my rage to a big up high, let it creep but not come down from the sky. Breaking the chain, taste black and thick, like biting a bullet you never spit. Storm in a cage, caused by a sin, you won't say his name, afraid I'll find him. I wanna hold his darkness into the light, but love lives here by choosing not to bite. Little shoes lined up by the light, I'll be your wall, your lamp at night. Let justice come in its own time. Till then, the wolf stays mine. Tea goes cold, but her hands don't shake. Kids breathe easy for mercy's sake. I guard this house with a steady spine. Storm in a cage, I hold the line. I'm wearing the crown, king of failure, built from nothing. Pain was my tailor. Every loss stitched into my skin, but I rise like I was born to win. Laugh if you want, I know my name. Learn the hard way, play the game. You see a red, I see a savior. I'm wearing the crown, king of failure. I'm wearing the crown, king of failure. Built from nothing, pain was my tailor. Then I got friends, burned some bridges, couldn't make amends. Tried to pray, but the silence stayed. So I made peace with my broken ways. Slept in the dark with no one there. Fought myself, didn't fight fair. But every fall put steel in my spine. So don't mistake loss for the end of the line. I'm wearing the crown, king of failure, built from nothing.
You know, wearing the crown, wearing the crown, wearing the crown, king of failure. You know, but a king, you know, the energy of a king. It's being able to embody the energy of a king. And but what is that truly though? It's taking command of your life. You know, it's the dark nights of the soul. You know, which is what? Which is us reclaiming our life, reclaiming our power, stepping more into our power. The inner flare. Deep fire erupts, demanding passage. Stand witness to the force. Raw power reveals itself in the truth and the raw power reveals its truth in the flare. Raw power reveals its truth in the flare. You know, the raw power, you know, the power to persevere, to push forward, to move on when we don't have the strength to, when we don't have the, you know, it's when we can barely find the strength to get up, much less fight more battles. And some days, you know, it's hard to even give thanks just to, you know, to wake up. It's like, sweet, here I am again. I get to fight more battles. Thank you so much. You know what I mean? It's hard to be thankful if that's where you find yourself. But that's when, you know, you find the strength to get out of bed. And because you found the strength, you know, you give thanks just for that. You know, the deep transformations. You know, trusting that the dark is going to lead to the night. You know, but it's the you know, it's the embracing of tower moments. It's the realization of the purpose that they serve and how, you know, it's not something to be feared. It's, you know, we don't necessarily rush into them and welcome them with open arms, but we don't scurry from them. We don't run from it because we understand the purpose. It's, even though we don't see it at the time, but we know what it's leading to. Ace of Pentacles, you know, but it's the, you know, energy is our true currency. It's coming back to ourselves, calling our power back. It's coming back into ourselves. You know, but it's the strength. It's coming back into, you know, but it's not relying on the strength of the 3D, right? Because if you're only relying on the strength of the 3D, you're not going to make it very far. Because, I mean, if you're only relying on, you know, the 3D for your energy, you're not going to get very far. You know, it's you know, connected to the Most High, you know, to your higher self. You know, you have to connect to the higher realms. That's where you pull the strength when you cannot find any. That's where you find it. That's where you find the mustard seed. It's not in this realm. It's not in this realm. You know, but it's the gentle care. It's a strength card, but look at how she's just gentle with the lion. It's the way that we have to be gentle with ourselves in the hard times. But it's the infinity symbol. It's the... It's never-lasting, it's never-ending strength. It's everlasting strength that we can find when we tap into the Most High. And only does that weaken when we lose sight of it. Only does that weaken when we disconnect. Only does that weaken when we separate ourselves from the Most High. When we allow it to. It's our choices, our actions, our decisions, ours. It's a tough realization that maybe I don't have the strength is because of, my lack of strength to stand up to my fears, my lack of whatever it is. It's our lack. It's our actions or our lack of. Where we find ourselves. If we don't find ourselves in somewhere to celebrate, we need to ask ourselves why we allowed ourselves to be in this situation to begin with. Or why do we allow ourselves to continue to stay here? Noticing a problem makes no difference if you have no intention of doing anything about it. What's the point of knowing if you aren't going to change it? It's kind of useless, isn't it? Kinda. Well, not kinda. It is. It is. Well, it's funny too, though. When you know better, better is expected from you. Better is demanded of you. It's kind of like, ignorance is bliss, and you kind of do get, I don't want to say a free pass, but, consequences of our actions, do increase the more that we stay stuck on the levels, because we need to get over the level. Enough's enough. You know what I mean? Enough's enough. A lot of us, we're not happy with the situations that we're in, but it's for our lack of choices, our lack of decisions, our lack of the proper ones. Well, it's from our lack of the proper action, but a lot of the proper action, people hear action and think automatic movement. It's the way that your mind can move. Your mind moves so much, but which direction is your mind moving in? You can have control over that if you learn to take command of every thought that goes through your mind, as the Bible instructs you to. The basic instructions before leaving Earth. It tells you to do that. Do you do it? Do you follow the teachings of Yeshua? Do you? Or do you just regurgitate them? Do you just recite them without applying them to your life? Because if you're just regurgitating it without applying it, it's useless. You're still sitting here waiting for a savior. Well, Buttercup, you're not going to get it. You have to save your motherfucking self. That's what Yeshua tried to tell you. But then the group of people came in and suppressed his information and knowledge and lessons, and we find ourselves in the situations we're in today. But thankfully, they can't get rid of consciousness. And hey, we're back, and they're here to show the way to those with the eyes to see and the ears to hear. No, but it's challenging. It's not easy. It's not a cakewalk. It's a fucking battle. It's a journey, but it's one worthy of going on. But it's a spiritual journey. It's not a religious trip. It's not a religious trip that we all go on. The spiritual journey is a single individual journey to connect yourself with the Most High. That's what the spiritual journey is. It's a journey. It's a journey within. It's a journey within. The journey within. But what lies within? The inner flare. Our spark. The spark of the divine that resides in each and every one of us, as Yeshua told us. We regurgitate that, but do we embody that? Do we know that? We know that Yeshua said they will come that will do greater than I. Do we believe that, or do we know that? Now, a lot of people, they say they believe it, right? But you clearly don't believe it because because you only believe what you do not know. If you know it, then you know that you're here to do greater as well. I know that. Do you know that? Or do you just believe it? Because if you're believing, you don't know. And if you do not know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I hope you stop believing. I hope you start knowing. I hope we all start knowing.
In the swamp where the sinners drink blood for love, by your Judas silver tongue smile, selling out souls by the quarter mile. I signed my name, thought the deal was thin, but the ink was fine. It burned my skin.
Thunder cracked, no mercy in the sky. Summer's promise, shattered innocence left to die. Children's laughter bright and wild, crushed by fate, both cruel and defiled. Tiny hands reaching, begging for a sign. Dreams swept away, erased by the divine. Where was the love we're told would never fail? Just blood in the water, prayers lost in the gale.
Where was the Savior who walked on the sea? Where was the miracle for those who believe? Did you turn your back? Did you close your eyes while the innocent screamed, while the purest died?
You turn water to wine, raise the dead with the word, but you let these children drown their cries unheard. God of mercy, God of night, where were you?
You know what's interesting? You know what's interesting? You know what a story I heard recently? It was talking about the Crusades, right? I was watching a documentary and they were talking about the Crusades. They were getting into that. And you know what's crazy is I forget the cities. I would have to go back and look. But pretty much the gist of the story was that the Crusaders weren't able to win against these people, right? And so they had the brilliant idea of let's send in our child soldiers, right? They're like, we'll send our child soldiers in, and the enemy, they love children, and they're not going to be able to fight against us. Their morals are going to kick in, and they're not going to be able to fight against us, and we're just going to win, right? That's the mentality they went into it with. And so they headed out. It was like a couple thousand of them, a couple thousand children, right? I say children, but they had to have been like teens, like lower in the age enough where men's morals would have stepped in. It's like, I see you with a weapon, but damn, you're a fucking kid. Do we not find ourselves still in those days right now? First off, we're going to countries where we shouldn't be, right? And then we're giving orders that we shouldn't give to our soldiers that then have to go out and execute the orders. And not a poor choice of words, an accurate choice of words. Very accurate. But it's the things that our soldiers have to live with. The things that they have to live with. Because it's either you live with it and you shut up, or you get the wrath of the government because you signed your life away, you signed your voice away. You said, I will do whatever you ask of me and I will never speak about it. The moral battles some people have to go through. Because it's either being jailed for not following your orders, speak up, get jailed. It's a lose-lose for our soldiers any way you look about it. And then they perform the orders that they're being ordered to do, and they come back fucked up. And then the worst part is we don't even give them the help that they not only need but they deserve, that they earned, and we don't even give them that. Motherfuckers, the VA is a fucking joke. It's a disgrace. The treatment. You can't even call it treatment when you give to our soldiers. You can't even call that treatment. Pathetic. But there was a couple thousand child crusaders, right? And how'd the story go? They met up with one group of people and they told them what their intention were and what they were going to do. And like, oh, that's a great idea. What? We have some ships. We'll provide them to you, and it's mutual enemies, right? They linked up with some mutual enemies. But never did the thought cross my mind that maybe they don't have my best interest in mind either. And so the group of people put them on those ships, and where did they bring them? They brought them to the slave market, and they fucking sold them. Didn't even make it to our destination. Interesting. Not even making it to our destination. Spiritual bypassing. Avoiding pain with positivity delays growth. Embrace the full spectrum of your emotions. Spiritual bypassing. Trying to get past the shadow work. There's no shortcut. There's no shortcut through the storm. I found a back door out of the Matrix, but that back door, exists only through going through storm after storm after storm after storm without turning the fuck around. You can't turn around. You gotta face it. The only way out is in. The only way out is through. but it's everything that we think that we don't have, everything that we think that we need, we think, we believe, not knowing. Because if you knew that you have exactly what you need. You have everything you need. Nothing more, but nothing less. But you have everything that you need to make it to the next step, the next stage. Not to finish the race, but to make it to the next step. You have everything you need. Don't set your, we vision for the future, but where we stay in reality, this is where I'm at. But it's not going to stop me from dreaming and working towards something, but it's really, I know where I'm at. But I'll still live in my blissful, dreamland that I see where I'm at. But to me, this is my full studio. You know what I mean? I got to run miles to get to the other side of my studio when really I just have to take a couple steps, But it's the way that I even decorate. I say decorate, but the way I've set up my apartment. It's like a recording studio with different themes and such and this and that. I don't even have a bed set up in here. And that's why. And it's choices and decisions that I make. It's things that I strive for. It's things that I'm working towards. I don't need a bed. I've been homeless and sleeping in a truck for how long? For years. I don't need a bed. Just like I don't need a church to speak to the Most High. My body, my vessel is my temple. I speak to the Most High anywhere. I speak to the Most High taking a shit. It doesn't matter. My connection with the Most High is what most people thrive for, what most people strive for, what most people wish. But you wish for what I have, but yet you run and turn from every storm. You're not going to have what I found. You can't. Because you run. You can't run. You can't run. What are you running from? Yourself. You're running from yourself. Stop running.
Promise the world will deliver breathe. What happened to the working man's dream? Nothing's ever quite what it seems. I'm selling my soul, just to keep my head above the water's cold. Yeah, I'm selling my soul, Lord, I'm selling my soul, just to survive in this world so cold.
Selling my soul just to survive in this world so cold. The unseen truth. It's the ways that we sell our soul without even realizing it. Prime example. Oh, interesting I say that. Prime. Look at the energy drinks. Prime, right? Prime Energy. Look who owns that. Horrible product. Who's that marketed towards? Children. They use fancy little colors, and then they use people that have already sold their soul. Logan Paul, people like that. People that do even have a soul, who knows? You know what I mean? But, but what is the Prime Energy drink's horrible, and they market it towards kids. It's filled with toxins, nothing but toxins. If you're a parent and you see your children drinking that, you're a horrible parent. Absolutely horrible parent. Especially now that I've told you, if you don't do your own research and you still allow them to drink it, you're ignorant and you're stupid and you're fucking your kids up. And I'm sorry that they have parents like you. Do better. Research what you're feeding your kids. All the dyes, all the shit that they allow in American food that they don't allow in other countries. If you're still providing that to your children, you're a horrible fucking parent. Facts. Do your research. Be a good parent. Do your research. Or don't. We all have choices. But we all have to be accountable to our actions or lack thereof as well. Betrayal scar. It's the rage and the anger for everything done against us, right? But we allowed it to. It's also accountability. I didn't do my own research for the longest time for certain things, and so I'm accountable for those actions, for the way that I put the poisons and stuff. I allowed it to go into my vessel, either through my ears, my eyes, my mouth, however I consumed it. It's the ways that I betrayed my connection with the Most High, knowingly or unknowingly. Now it's if I do it, it's knowingly because I know better, and so I don't do it. But it's the ways that we sell our soul. So I only promote. I still consume things that I know aren't the healthiest, and it's some of it's just because of, I don't know, enjoyments of the flesh, I guess, right? But I'm more conscious and aware of not only what I consume, but I'm very aware of what I promote. You know, if I'm going to promote something, it's going to be something that's healthy. It's going to be something that's beneficial. It's going to be something that I 100% stand with. And I'm not going to promote something that I don't support just for a check, you know, just for money. So I'm not going to sell my soul for that. You know, would it be easier for me? Probably. You know, it would be a lot easier for me if I didn't speak the truth too. You know, I'd have more support. Now, that's like the more truth that you speak, the less support you get, because the truth is not a popular thing in a society full of lies. And the hardest part is people don't even see them as lies. People fully embody the lies and treat it as the truth. When you're just really comfortable in the lies. And I'm the truth, and it's uncomfortable. That's why, yeah, the unseen truth. Unfortunately, I see it. And because I see it, I can't unsee it. And so it's my job, it's my duty, it's my obligation to point it out. And, you know, if that makes me the bad guy, then point your finger and call me the motherfucking bad guy. Hopefully I trigger you into healing. I trigger you into looking at things from a different angle, a different perspective. Hopefully I trigger you into some growth.
Raise the stakes. You play it safe, I'll hide the fuse. My time to shine, nothing to lose. Ain't no crown I didn't earn. I took the heat, I watched it burn. Where you ran, I held my ground, turned every curse into a sound. I'm legendary, still in flame. Went through hell, still kept my name. You don't hand me nothing, I take what's mine with a rebel soul, and I'm cold as ice. They tried to bury me in their shame, but I broke through and carved my name. I'm legendary, leaving my mark, a walking fire. I've come too far. Whiskey grit and leather skin. I fight like hell and I fight to win. You bring your doubt, I bring the storm. Born for chaos, raised in war. I'm legendary, scars and pride. The system cracked, but I never died. Call me outlaw, call me mean. I'm the truth they hide behind the screen. I don't fold, I don't kneel. I got too much soul, I got too much steel. I'm legendary, forged and free. Ain't a man alive gonna silence me. I ain't your preacher, I ain't your pawn. I'm the storm that don't move on. So write me down or walk away. Either way, it's my turn to play. I'm legendary, say it loud. I don't blend in, I lead the crowd. From back road nights to mainline dreams, I tore through walls, I split the seams. You'll know my face, you'll feel my fight. I burn too hot to fade at night. I'm legendary, don't forget. A rebel voice, you ain't buried yet. I'm here to stay. Remember my name. I'm legendary. Burning through the flame. world, baby. I got nothing to lose. It's just me against the world. Stuck in the game. Me against the world, baby. Can you picture my prophecy? Stress in the city, the cops is hot for me. The projects are full of bullets, no bodies is dropping, there ain't no stopping me. Constantly moving while making millions. Witnessing killing, leaving dead bodies in abandoned buildings. Can't reach the children, cause they're ill, addicted to killing. And the appeal from the cap peeling. Without feeling, but will they last or be blasted? Hard-headed blasting, maybe you're listening in this casket. The aftermath, more bodies being buried. I'm losing my homies in a hurry. They're relocating to the cemetery. Got me worried, stressing, my vision's blurry. The question is, will I live? No one in the world loves me. I'm ready for danger. Don't trust strangers. Put one in the chamber whenever I'm feeling this anger. Don't wanna make excuses, cause this is how it is. What's the use unless we're shooting? No one notices the use. It's me against the world, baby. Me against the world. Ooh yeah, it's me against the world. It's me against the world. Cause it's me against the world, baby. I got nothing to lose. It's just me against the world, baby. I got nothing to lose. Could somebody help me? I'm out here all by myself. See, ladies and stones, baby Capone's living wealthy. Pictures of my birth on this earth is what I'm dreaming. Seeing daddy seeming full of crooked demons, already crazy and screaming. I guess them nightmares as a child had me scared, but let me prepared for a while. Is there another route for a crooked outlaw? Veteran, a villain, a young thug who one day shall fall. Every day there's more death, and plus I'm less. I'm seeing more reasons for me to proceed with thieving. Scheme on the scheming and leaving.
Is there another way for an outlaw? But it's the energy of continuing in your ways. Continuing in your ways. The cook, it's mixing up different ways. It's trying different recipes, different ingredients. It's trying different things than the mechanic. It's the repairing things. It's trying different things, different ways to repair. There it is again, teaming up. It's... is there another way? It's people, it's, they know the wrongs of their fuckery. They're well aware of their fuckery. They just don't want to give it up. They don't want to give it up. They don't want to, is there another way? It's full accountability. There is no other way. Full accountability. Full honesty, authenticity, yeah, that thing, yeah, you kind of need that. You have to embody that. It's the way that you embody it, though. It's triggering. It's giving your light is triggering to them. Poverty is a mindset. It's the way that you're able to continually repair your mindset. Well, the first step is recognizing it, right? It's recognizing the way that, and what are our mindsets? A lot of it, it's observed through the ways that we speak about ourselves. It's the way that we speak about others. Mindsets. It's, okay, how do you tell a positive mindset? Well, someone that's always speaking life into others, that's a positive mindset. It's looking at everything as the glass is half full. And I'm aware of the negative, and I can be a negative Nancy if I want to be, but I choose not to give that energy to the negative. I'm full aware of it. I know every aspect of it. I'm full aware of it. But I'm also full aware of the opposite choices. And I choose those ones because those are better. But it's more aligned with where I'm going, with where I want to be. More aligned with where I'm going and where I want to be. But it's the lack of funding. It's a lot of times we get too preoccupied with the You know, we look at where we vision where we want to be, right? But a lot of times we're like, well, how am I going to do that? I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have... We focus on the I don't, instead of I do's. That's giving it the energy to the negative instead of the positive, which is, I can do this, I can do that. Even if we can't take physical action, at least we can make that mental action. I can sit back, I can kick my feet up, and I can start envisioning, I can start daydreaming. And that's giving daydreaming, but it's living in the present, but it's also envisioning for the future. It's holding the space. You know, but lack of funding, you know, it's, I don't have any money to go do anything fun. Have fun with yourself. Did you not go out and play in the woods as a kid? Did you need money to play as a kid? You didn't. Kids these days seem to, you know what I mean? But we never used to. We used to be able to find fun without money. You know, but that's back when we found fun and enjoyment into the things of value. And what do we replace it with? You know, we replace, you know, real friends with, you know, with Facebook bots and bot likes and advertisements. You know, but it's a lack of funding. But it's energy. It's, you know, it's funny though. It's people base their worth on, you know, I have so many likes and so many followers and so many this, and it's okay, good for you. You know, I'll give up all my likes and all my this. Did I heal anyone? Did I send anyone on the right path, on the right course? I hope so. I know so. Not I hope so. I know I have. You know what I mean? But I'd reset my account. I'd get rid of, you know what I mean? I don't care. The ego, yeah, it means something to me, but it doesn't at the same time. You know what I mean? The stats that I get, you know, in the top 95%, 98% of, you know, people that, you know, with my followings, you know, for the content that I create. And those are the victories, you know. I could sit there and focus on what I don't have, but why would I do that? You know, I make the best and most out of everything I have, and I know I do. I utilize the fuck out of it, and I'm good at it. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful for that. You know, but it doesn't matter what you have. You could have everything. But if you don't know how to use it, you're still in poverty.
The future I dream already mine. No distance, no time, I'll step through the veil. My light is the compass, my truth is the trail. No searching, no chasing, no being behind. I call back my power, reclaiming my mind. Doors once locked swing open with ease. I walk like the answer, I am the key. The past can't bind me, the doubts can't stay. I speak my arrival, it's done today. Infinite self, eternal flame, already arrived, I am the name. It's done, it's here, no lack, no fear. Eyes are shine, the timeline is mine. It's done, it's here. The path is clear. Eyes are shine. I crossed the line.
Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, no, you didn't fuck around and heal yourself. Oh, no, you didn't rise and shine brighter, a healed version of you. Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, yes, the fuck you did. Congratulations. I'm proud of you. The Most High is proud of you. Your spirit team's proud of you. These greedy family members of Secret Society, not so proud of you. But that's okay. Fuck their opinion. Fuck their thoughts. Fuck their feelings. You know, I'm proud of you. I hope you're proud of yourself. You know, it's redneck country. You know, it's ascension. It's rising. You know, but it's rising. You know, but it's rising to the occasion. rising to the occasions. How do we show up? How do we show up? There's certain points in our life, certain situations, certain contracts that we signed up for that we have to go through. We have to go through it, but it's the how we go through it is up to us. Am I going to go through it fighting and screaming and holding back and holding on? Or am I going to release and go through it, excited but fearful and joyful? And how am I going to go through it? You have to go through it. You don't have a choice about that, but you do have a choice about the how. How do you choose to go through it? How do you choose to perceive things? How do you choose to? But a lot of times it's the influence of other people. It's the influence of other people that, it throws us off of alignment. It throws us off of what we know, because we replace with what we know with what other people believe. Even if they're acting with good intentions, they want the best for us. They believe that they know what's best for us, but only we truly know what's best for us. Don't replace beliefs with knowings. That not for the people we care about. You can't do that because you're sacrificing yourself in the process.
Burning hotter than a Georgia moon, dancing in the flames. Yeah, she wrecks me in the dark of my motel room. Sweet sin dripping off her tongue. Shotgun love make the devil run. Ain't no praying gonna wash her true. She's my dirty little hallelujah.
Leather on the front seat, perfume in the smoke. She whispers in my ear like a promise she broke. Outlaw heart, southern drawl, fire in her veins. We're gasoline lovers playing chicken with the train. And
Lord knows I should cut that rope, but I hang on tight when she pulls me close. She's my dirty little hallelujah.
Dirty money. Dirty money. And that could be interesting too, though. Dirty money. Fly and then M. You know what I've been seeing a lot recently? It's videos of Somalians trying to get out of the country with suitcases full of money. Flying with M, flying with money. But also millions, the millions, and we could also replace that M with B's, with billions. What's funny? It's when you listen to that broad, what's her name, Omar, whatever her name is, right? It's insignificant. She was insignificant in her country, and that she fled from her country. Don't mistake that. She'll say how I'm not going back there. She doesn't want to go back there. She can't go back there. She ran from there. She fled from there. Why did she flee from there? Good question, you ask. Why she fled from there? Well, her family is very corrupt. And they were forced. I'm pretty sure her family was involved with someone in the government, with some part of the government. And they got overthrown and kicked out of office because they're scumbags and they take advantage of people and they fuck people over. Oh, would you fancy that? They came to the U.S. and they took that fucked up mindset and they brought it here. Oh, yeah. And if we have a problem with it, we're anti-Semitic and we hate other people and we're just awful Americans. And bitch, shut the fuck up. Go back to your country. Oh, you can't. You can't even go back there, you stupid bitch. Oh, man. But it's funny, too. It's the people getting caught up. The people get caught up and they're going to turn. But it's... it's funny. It's, the way that they play on our emotions. The way that this bitch still tries to get on the media and play on our emotions. Try to play us for fools like we're idiots. And my question is, why? I don't know. Marry your brother. Marry your brother. How does that stuff even make it? How does she even get into that position? Without like, journalism. Where are the journalists? Where are the fucking journalists? How do you not uncover this shit? How do you not uncover it? You know what I mean? If we had some American brother fucker or sister fucker, you know what I mean? You think that wouldn't be publicized? Well, it depends on who they work for, I guess. No, not I guess. I know. It depends on who they're supporting. If you support the right people, you can be a man masqueraded as a woman, and you'll still get the position. And vice versa. It all depends on who you support. Interesting too. Who do we support? You know what Venezuela doesn't support? They don't support transgender. They don't support pornography. They don't support, you know what they do support? They support using their own resources for their own people. You know, they support some things that I align with. They do support those. You know, but you know what? You know, also they support Palestine. You know who else they speak up against? You know, the Zionists that promote usury. You know, usury is not allowed in Venezuela. Usury used to not be allowed into any Christian nation. You know, so we can't even call ourselves a Christian country or nation. We can't do that. We can't do that. Not while we still allow usury. We can't do that. You know, the biggest misconception is we still label ourselves as a Christian nation, but our actions say otherwise. And who speaks for us? Who do they support? Who are they flown out overseas to show their support and pledge their allegiance to? I'm sorry, I'm confused. Did you not pledge an oath to the Pledge of Allegiance of the United States of fucking America? Motherfuckers. Traitors. But let's take it up a step above that too. That's in the 3D. Let's go to the 5D. They're betraying the Most High, the source of all, and for what? A demigod that you serve. A false god. Traitor. Who are you betraying? Yourself. Your connection with the Most High. Fools. Fools.
I don't know, but I've been told. I don't know, but I've been told. Country boys got hearts of gold. Country boys got hearts of gold. Marching hard through rain and dust. Marching hard through rain and dust. We don't bend, we don't rust. We don't bend, we don't rust. Boots in the red dirt, heart in the fight. Mama raised a storm and daddy taught me right. Ain't no medal hanging on my chest, but I carry the weight like the ones who never rest. Woke up to thunder, not a bugle call. Cold black coffee and a prayer through it all. They trained me to run, they trained me to shoot, but life trained me hard, barefoot in my roots. One more mile and we ain't done yet. One more mile and we ain't done yet. Keep on marching through the sweat. Keep on marching through the sweat. Keep on broke with a bag full of gold. Smile for the crowd, but I miss my pose. They clap for the flag, but forget the face of the man in the mirror who can't find his place. But I ain't looking for no damn parade. I just want a porch and a little shade. So I'll write my story in the gravel and grit, with a voice full of fire and a heart that won't quit. I've been marching with mud on my soul, left foot gospel in a world gone cold. They try to break me, try to make me fall, but I'm still here, brother, still 10 toes bold. I ain't singing for fame or for show, I'm singing for the ones who ain't got nowhere to go. So lace your boots, let the truth unfold. We ain't done yet with a fight they can't hold. We don't cry, we don't complain. We don't cry, we don't complain. We just walk through fire and rain. We just walk through fire and rain. Left foot, right foot, here we go. Left foot, right foot, here we go. Left foot, right foot, here we go. Left foot, right foot.
But it's interesting. It's getting everyone in tandem. It's lining up. It's line dancing. But what are they doing? What are they practicing? It's rehearsing the lies. And it's interesting too. What was the reading from today in the Gospel of Nicodemus, talking about the Jews and lying, saying how how the disciples came and stole the body, right? The lies. It's we all gotta line up, and we all gotta get all these moves and all these jigs and all this dance all down right, or else people's gonna see it for what it is, a lie. We'll just throw money at the problem, and we'll spread the same lie. What's funny is sometimes, those that remain silent. It's, when the money dries up, you think their silence is still going to stay there? Probably not. But definitely not when questioned. When questions, but not the questions. It's interesting too. It's people will take the bribery to spread the lies and do the things, right? It's just a little minor act. It's, all the little minor acts. That little minor act that you did to mislead someone or to guide someone away or to do something. What if all I did was invite them to this coffee shop. You invited them to a coffee shop where they got assassinated, motherfucker. And what if you helped them take out someone that's here to change the whole fucking world? And all I did was invite them to a coffee shop because I got paid to do it. But everything in me said it was wrong and I shouldn't do it, but I went against my higher judgment. It's tons and tons of those choices, tons and tons of those decisions spread around the world. And when more of us stop making those choices, when more of us fight the good fight, when more of us stand up, when more of us stand united we stand, divided we fall.
Keeps the fridge full and the week mapped out. Knows every school run, every turn, every route. Plans little day trips just to see them smile. Doesn't stop moving, but she still stays a while. And when I watch her hold our youngest tight, man, I fall in love for the second time. I don't always find the words she deserves, but I carry her kindness in everything I've learned. It's a little thing she does every day, like folding my shirt, saying I'm okay. Even when she's running on nothing but grace, she still finds a way to light up this place. She don't ask for credit, don't need.
It didn't ask for credit. Putting in the work. They didn't. But it's credit. It's the energy of a helping hand. It's the energy of they didn't expect you to work so hard. They did not expect you to work so hard. But it's also they didn't expect you to be able to do so much by yourself. Yeah, but that's a misconception. You're never by yourself. It's the lies we tell ourselves. Alone. I'm always alone, but I'm never alone. That's interesting too. It's we can be surrounded by people and still feel alone. And the lies we tell ourselves. Oh, I'm loved because of all these snakes I have around me that crawl all over me and use me, but I'm loved. It's interesting too. It's the well. What do we have here? Another fucking liar. Well. Interesting too, but it's the energy of being so transparent with yourself. You're able to see, and so when you look in the mirror, you see a healed version, but it's also it's like when you get a glimpse of something, you investigate it. It's like well, what do we have here? Something else that I need to fix, but it's not like, it's not an anger. It's like, here we go again. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's embracing the change, but it's embracing the tower moment. But you're only able to do that with the understanding that it's not what happens to me, it's what happens for me. And it's not necessarily what we go through, it's how we go through it. And because how we go through it dictates how we come out of it. And so the fastest way, the best way to come out of it is, the faster we correct ourselves in the storm. Because it's in the storm it's designed for you to get caught up and embodied into the storm and the chaos. But you have to see through it. You have to work past it. It's fully aware of everything flying around you out of disorder. It's fully aware, but not getting confused, not losing sight of the goal that's straight ahead. Not, sometimes it's, it might be a card that's flying around in the tornado that obstructs your view. It could just be a lighter. I can still see it through it. Sometimes it might have been a whole fucking mountain that the tornado picked up, and that whole mountain's, preventing you from seeing the finish line, but it's still there. It never changed. It never went anywhere. It's still there. It's just a lot of times it's our ability to see it, but that's where faith kicks in. Just because you can't see it, do you still know it? And I don't say believe, because you only believe in what you do not know. It's, people believe in their faith. I know mine. I hope you do too. That's for somebody. All right, I'm going to wrap that up right there. But thanks for tapping in. Thanks for your likes, your shares, your comments, your gifts. Thank you for the exchange of energy. And until next time.